category of paravolley, Pieter Joon. Let's learn more about Pieter Joon's contributions to paravolley.
There are very few people in the world who can say they literally started an Olympic movement. Pieter Joon is one of those people. Considered the father of sitting volleyball, Joon was born in Amsterdam and contracted polio when he was only 2.5 years old. After many months in the hospital and several surgeries, he taught himself to walk at the age of 13. Introduced to the traditional sport of volleyball in a coaching and officiating capacity, Joon joined the Kennemer Invalide Sport Club, KIS, when he was a teenager. While playing sitting volleyball at KIS, Joon started up the ranks of the club, the West region of the Netherlands National Volleyball Federation, and the Dutch National Federation for Disabled. While the popularity of sitting volleyball had expanded around the world by the mid-1970s, the game was not played under a unified rule set, and thus caused many frustrations when different countries played each other during international tournaments, including an event in Bonn in May of 1976. It was at this event that it became clear to Joon that these differences in rules in the game itself was the main reason sitting volleyball was not invited to the Olympics like standing volleyball was for the 1976 Toronto Games. When Arnhem, Netherlands was announced as the 1980 Paralympic host, Joon organized a test sitting volleyball tournament in Haarlem, Netherlands in 1979, in what is now known as the first official sitting volleyball tournament. As part of a working group for international relations, Joon has stated that he felt it was the right time to get Europe on the same page, convincing Germany, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Luxembourg, Yugoslavia, and Belgium to leave their hard work over the years from 1944 to 1980 and to choose sitting volleyball in the future. Joon's own hard work paid off, as there were 8 sitting volleyball teams in the 1980 Arnhem Paralympics, where Joon served as the technical coordinator. Joon was also instrumental in a unanimous decision by the countries to play the game with only a minimum handicap, stating that this decision allowed him to secure the character of the game. After the success of the 1980 Paralympics, Joon founded and became the first president of the World Organization Volleyball for Disabled as part of the International Sports Organization for Disabled. His goal with the organization was to offer sitting volleyball as a sport in all world regions, without the impediment of a classification system, as was traditional in Paralympic sports offerings. In this position, and with the cooperation of the International Federation Sport for Disabled, Joon was able to set up development projects in 1986 in Africa, the Middle East, Asia, South America, and Central America. Joon said about this project, "Accessibility for our sport was more important than a classification requirement. I want everyone with any kind of disability to play sports." Joon served on the Paralympic Volleyball Technical Committee for 20 years and served on countless boards and committees for the advancement of the game. Women's sitting volleyball entered the Paralympic Games in 1993, and in 1994, the World Organization Volleyball for Disabled, now known as World Paravolley, became a standalone entity. Behind it all, Joon was at the helm, leading the way for accessibility and inclusion. For his vision and leadership to bring volleyball to those with disabilities around the world, we are proud to induct Pieter Joon into the International Volleyball Hall of Fame as a paravolley leader.
My name is Joe Campbell. I'm the president of the Pan America Zone, and I've had the honor and the pleasure to work with this young man for 33 years now. I want to take you back to where it began. Imagine, if you will, Las Vegas, Nevada, 1989 in July, nice and hot. I honestly don't remember how many teams we had, but it was the first World Championships that came to the United States. I was still active in the Air Force, and I was living and stationed there in Las Vegas, and was asked to come and to officiate these games. And so now imagine, if you will, Las Vegas Hilton, 2 volleyball courts, one sitting, one standing, in a ballroom with real crystal chandeliers. For 5-6 days, we played volleyball, and only one ball hit a chandelier. Thought that was pretty amazing. But after the event, I was asked if I would be interested in continuing on with this organization, and I've been so happy and so blessed in order to meet people such as Pieter and work with him as well. So that was the beginning of our 33-year career. And ever since then, until he retired in 2000 as our president, at the time, WOVD, World Organization Volleyball for the Disabled, I had the distinct privilege to watch him, first of all, athlete-centered. He made sure the athletes came first, and it was totally awesome. His calm demeanor, in both in meetings as well as on the court, and you've already seen with his video everything else that he's been involved in. And I just want to say, I've waited 5 years for this since I've been on this board in order to nominate someone. And when I took it to our board, World Paravolley, as the nomination of Mr. Pieter Joon, it was quite unanimous that he would be our first inductee. Pieter, congratulations.
Thank you, Joe. Nice speaking. Thank you. Okay, it's up to me now. I don't see you. Dear Mr. President, dear volleyball friends, I can say, because everybody who is here is because of volleyball, so I call you volleyball friends. It's a great honor for me to share with you some history of sitting volleyball. Holyoke is the hometown of volleyball. Haarlem, my hometown, can be called the birthplace of sitting volleyball. After the World War II, we saw sports as a new kind of therapy in the military rehabilitation centers. Ball games were very popular and were practiced in Europe, countries and America, but with many different rules and names, such as fistball, prelbal, sitsbal. 2 members of the Dutch Military Sports Committee created a new sport, sitting volleyball, and that was in 1956, based on the indoor volleyball rules, but sitting on a smaller field. And this new sport was presented nationally, and the first sitting volleyball clubs were founded. In 1961, I became a member of that club in Haarlem and played sitting volleyball for over 25 years. I even became a national champion in 1964. I experienced that the limitation of my legs was no obstacle in this sport. And I took those experiences with me in my further volleyball activities as a coach, referee, and administrator. In 1979, I organized a pre-Paralympic tournament for standing and sitting volleyball. The main goal was for countries to get to know each other and also to stimulate them to register for the 1980 Paralympics. In 1980, 5 countries signed up for standing volleyball and 7 countries for sitting volleyball. That was the first success, and we gained a lot of publicity. During a meeting with the countries at the Games, I spoke about my vision and future plans for international sitting volleyball competitions, in which the countries had to be convinced to opt for volleyball and no longer for those rehabilitation activities. In those days, the influence of medical doctors was great and decisive. Sports should be fair for the disabled and only compete against the same physical, with the same physical limitation of athletes. This is how the classification system was born. My idea was straightforward. Sport is not fair. Sitting volleyball is a team sport and should be accessible to all athletes, despite the physical disabilities. No physical comparisons. In sitting volleyball, we bring David and Goliath in the same team, and that is our strength. It is even encouraged that all athletes play together. Inclusion promotes the quality of all players. And when I refer to disabled athletes, I mean all athletes who have a physical limitation to participate in any sport. On April 24, 1981, the International Volley Committee was appointed by the countries present. And that was the birth of the World Organization of Volleyball for the Disabled, currently known as World Paravolley. The meeting supported my vision and decided in only a minimal physical disability for an athlete. Plans for training our own classifiers, referees and coaches were set. For this, we had the opportunity to finance training and development trajectories on 5 continents. This allowed us to introduce and stimulate our new sport worldwide. In 2020, the Paralympic athletes choose sitting volleyball as the most popular and attractive sport in the Games. For me, this was a sign that the concept of an open sport still caught on with all athletes. I dedicate my induction into this famous hall of volleyball here to all sitting volleyball players, because they deserve this place. I look also to my friend Joe Campbell. He just said some nice words about me. As president of the Pan Am Zone, thank you, Joe. I don't know where you are, but thank you for all your support, anyhow, through the years. Many thanks to the World Paravolley, who took over my policy and is working so successfully and professionally to achieve our goal, and recognizing the importance of history of the sport by recently publishing the historical booklet. Many thanks to my wife, Ellie, my daughter, and my grandson, Niels. They supported me for 100% the last years and had to miss me a lot. Finally, I have a message to you all. My slogan is, we are healthy today, and you also, but that can be completely different tomorrow. Around the world, 15% of the people have a disability. And besides that, we lose yearly thousands of sport friends due to a permanent injury. You are requested to take a look around in your home situation and see how your own volleyball federation guides the athletes who stop playing. Is there a policy to recruit them? Those who will and can play sitting volleyball must be offered the opportunity to do so. Keep your friends with you and stimulate them to stay with you. And they can play in their own club, sitting volleyball, and then you'll be active in sport again. To the boards of the National Volleyball Federations and the IVB, I would say, Be open for sitting volleyball. Know your target group and create a system to recruit your players and stimulate national programs. Give sitting volleyball a clear place in your organizational structure. Unfortunately, not all national federations in the FIVB have taken this step yet. Support these countries. There's so much experience already. Sitting volleyball can have the biggest competition worldwide for athletes with a disability. Yes, we can. Big thanks to the board of the International Volleyball Hall of Fame. You show the world that para-volley belongs to the volleyball family and certainly has had added great and new value to the sports experience. Sitting volleyball has a beautiful history. A bright future shines through this international recognition. We hope so. Thank you.
Your plaque, sir, and I'm going to kneel if that's okay with you.
Do I look like? Okay.
Good job. It's an honor. I will bring your plaque down.
Okay.
Congratulations. And I want to say thank you very much for your vision. And I had the distinct honor of serving as a team leader for the women's national sitting team and got to accompany them to the 2012 Paralympic Games, a highlight of my career. So thank you very much for making all that possible.